Right out of the gates, I just want to say, too, it was really wonderful seeing you in person at John's Pizza.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
John's of Bleecker. Oh.
That was the first New York pizza I ever had.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to remember what the hell mine was. What's the spot Jay-Z used to love in Brooklyn that's, is it Carroll Gardens or?
Oh, Lucali?
Lucali. I think that might have been my first, let's do a New York. Because Kolsky used to live, before we were too romantic, she used to live over there. And I remember she took me there one night where she was like, this is like, New York pizza. And I was like, God damn.
Lucali is one of the best for sure.
I just want to also start with this. This is just how I feel about this past week in football in general, is just, that's about right. That's about how I feel inside, Tom.
I mean, pretty brutal, Murf.
A gross week. I just want to get out of the way the real football shit, and then we can get into two-man.
Yeah.
The fucking Eagles are now, and now I feel comfortable being like the normal amount of frustrated with this team because we've won a Super Bowl after, a lifetime of disappointment. Of 2 generations of disappointment, really.
One of the great Super Bowls ever.
Yes, yeah. Even as a casual observer, just a fan of the big game, it was a great game. And so now that we have that in our pocket, it's like I was able to be a little excited for Big Red when he won his in Kansas City. I'm able to be a little more reasonable when they shit the bed on a weekly basis sometimes. But this Nick Sirianni, his vibes are just off. I don't like this guy one bit, and it's not even a call.
I mean, that was a brutal loss.
Terrible.
They had the game in hand, and Atlanta's looked bad.
I mean, AI can go to hell in a handcart, so I don't really care about the next-gen stats shit, but I saw something flash up that was 0.7. This was like a 2-outer.
Oh,
not
yeah,
even.
It was.
Not even a 2-out. It was less than 2. It was like a 1-out.
Murph, I turned the game off.
Well, yeah. And he's not calling the plays, which he's a little bit doing that thing where he's like, hey, it's the head coach. It falls on me. But just as a reminder, I'm also not calling the plays. And you're just like, yeah, but.
Two-man dance is a vibes league, and Nick Sirianni has bad vibes.
Well put. He has no business in 2-man. And yet I have 3 of his studs in 2. So I've gone all in on Nick Sirianni as the other to, of course, segue into the 2-man is also, I mean,
boy, oh boy.
So Barkley gets down to the goal line.
That Saquon touchdown would have won you the week.
It would have won. Yes.
It would have won.
I'm looking up the numbers now, but yes, that's right. So I lose again. I'm now in a hole. I'm in a serious hole. And I hate to listen. I hate wasting any breath on McCaff, but we can't get away from it.
No,
I thought we could maybe move on.
We can't move on.
The news, as you kind of called last week, as I recall in the pod, you were saying.
Yeah, the title of the episode, McCaffrey on the roof, alluding to this is their slow way of telling us he will not play.
I mean,
he's not going to play this week, but he could have played. That's what they started with. Yeah, actually, we're going to, he's got an Achilles thing now. We'll do week 2. Yeah, we'll take him out.
All of a sudden, the calf bone was connected to the Achilles bone, and now all of a sudden we're sitting out for at least, what are they saying, 6 to 8?
Well, that's the other thing. Then they put him on IR. That's 4 weeks, 4 more weeks. So then we're talking week 7, week 8. then it's but their bye week's week 9. Worst case scenario, he's back week 10.
Noam Chomsky warned us of this all those years ago. They manufactured our consent, and now we're just like, that's normal for the number 1 overall pick to fucking just slowly not play the whole season. I had him starting.
Chomsky never would have picked McCaffrey number 1.
No. I mean, the level of there's fuckery. There's a normal amount of fuckery you expect in the NFL, but this seems egregious, does it not? If we want to get into Deflategate, we got to get into fucking McCaffgate.
McCaffgate.
I mean, the McCaffrey problem has turned into McCaffgate. It's now a debacle, and it's sunk my season before it even started. And I know I can still come back, but Jesus Christ.
I can't believe the fact that they're saying worst case scenario week 10. That's not worst case scenario. I feel like it's 50-50 he plays a single snap this season.
I think that's fair. I think that's and it's 100, he will not play a snap for Big Sloppy. I mean, he's done. I should have, because again, I was kind of reeling a little bit, but I should have dropped him. I picked up Mixon. You were a true gentleman, even though you had waiver position, even though Mixon.
Yeah, I had waiver priority, but after the brutality of McCaffrey and Puka, it felt like it would have been ungentlemanly of me to use it.
Which I appreciate that. And now Mixon's out.
But the brutality continues. You spend one of your 5 precious waivers on Joe Mixon. You drop Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison has 67 points in the first quarter or something.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then Joe Mixon gets hurt in the middle of the game, and then McCaffrey gets put on IR.
It's brutal. It's really a brutal stretch in the early goings here. So I should have dropped, I should have just done McCaff at the time and picked up Mixon. And look, maybe if I did do that, that might have been the amount of witchcraft needed. That might have been the antidote to the poison that is McCaff, is that if I had done howled at the moon a few times, took some rainwater, put it in a jar, did the whole dance, and then got rid of him, that might have been a way to exorcise the demons. But instead, I left him stick around, and now, because in that reality, Mixon probably doesn't get hurt.
I agree with you.
Maybe A.J. Brown probably, he might not be, but the direct involvement needed to be a Mixon for McCaff. It needed to be, and I fucked that up even.
I know. And if you had done that, I do think Saquon both gets in the end zone when he was rolled down, and I think he either catches the pass on 3rd and 3 or the Eagles run the ball and they get the first down. Either way, you're winning the week. I think for sure if you had dropped McCaffrey.
Tom, I can't follow this butterfly effect too far down the hole, or I will never return. I'll never come back from this. No, I see the swinging doors. I see it. And I not to sound like a broken record here, but you also realize too now.
You're not a broken record. We're going to be talking about this all year.
McCaff will haunt. McCaff will haunt. We'll be talking about this 5 years from now, believe me.
Murf, there's a big new development every single week. When we come back for the week 3 recap, we're going to find out he retired.
We're going to find out he hasn't even been at the facility since last year.
It keeps heightening. Every 2 days there's a new.
I'm just going to tune into a game next week, and in the broadcast booth, I'm going to hear him, and I'm going to be like, wait a minute, McCaffrey's got a job as a color commentator already?
He took Brady's job already?
Yeah, no, he'll be joined by McCaffrey, no doubt. Also, the injuries, like the way two-man is so sick and why people think that it's like, oh, this embarrassment of riches that we get to deal with. This is why, because in any 12-team league, you're going to have injuries, but you're not going to get pounded by all this top-tier talent. Like, that's spread out. That pain gets spread amongst 12 teams. Whereas in this shit, you're just getting... You don't even have a chance. You're still reeling from a right to the jaw, and then you just get hit with a body shot. It's like nonstop.
Yeah. So you only get 5 waivers. You're sort of in a tough spot right now because you're down to 4. We haven't even hit the bye weeks. You're riddled with injuries, and you have maybe 1 healthy wide receiver that's not doing well.
Oh, yeah. My only healthy wide receiver is an underachieving wide receiver. The only healthy wide receiver is an underachieving wide receiver. That's going to be on the locker room wall at Big Sloppy. That's a motivational. They're going to hit that like Notre Dame on the way out of the locker room every day. We're going to slap that sign. Yeah, this looks grim. We might wake up tomorrow and I might be out of waiver moves, frankly.
I feel like you've done that at least twice. Where
I'm trying to rewrite history. I was like, that 1 year, I lost it.
I wake up and you've just
cleaned house.
It's like you had to get rid of them.
Yes.
It's like you use them like they're expiring tomorrow.
Yes. No, I saw the shelf life, and I was like, this has got to go.
I was tempted by a night move. I was gonna do it this week.
I really didn't. That's interesting because I took a peek and I didn't see anybody would be interested in.
I'll say this: there's several people I'm interested in.
But you've got money to burn right now.
I know, but part of it is I really have the thought. I'm like, I'm not doing a thing as long as McCaffrey's on this guy's team. He's doing all the work for me on your bench.
It's true. McCaffrey's your inside man. You sent him in. You sent in the ghost.
I mean, he is a Midland City man.
You conjured the spirit. He must go. I'm going to actually, I might actually just drop him right now.
Are you dropping him right now?
I'm dropping him in real time.
The unprecedented.
No, Tom, I'm clicking. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
He is dropped. Goodbye.
Wow.
McCaff. Gonzo. Now we got a little slot. We got some room to play tonight for some night moves.
That's what you needed to do. You are in an 0-2 hole, which is tough. That said, you could retake the point lead in one game pretty easily.
That's feasible. Exactly. 40
if you
points.
You beat me in week 3 by 40. And
I'm right back in it.
I think your odds of that happening have gone up at least 900% now that you've dropped Christian McCaffrey.
I have exorcised the demons.